You could do this in a bench vise too. I have a shaving horse, I'm going to use it. But so I know to stay clear of everything between these two lines. It is my superstition, I don't know that this is true, but it is my superstition that you want it thinner in this plane than it is in the plane that the blade is in. I've tried testing it before this class and I really couldn't find any difference on the piece of wood I was doing it, but prior to that I had experienced that if it was bigger in diameter in this plane, so basically oval with a bigger dimension this way than that, it would tend to catch as it cut. So take that with a grain of salt, because I couldn't duplicate it when I actually tried. But I had fixed reamers many times by doing this. So I don't know what happened in my test, but so I'm going to start by spoke shaving wood off of this middle part and leaving the back side. So just like if this is up and down across the thickness of that pine that we're testing, whatever's highest will keep it from cutting. That's also true along the circumference of this piece. So if it's oval this way and I take that off, it could start cutting again. So I'm just going to take wood off this middle and test it again. That might get it to cut. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, just leaving, basically I've cut between these pencil lines one spoke shave cut off of there, and the same thing on this side. And I'll do the same thing down on this end where it wasn't cutting much either. Okay, so now we test it. So this whole process is one of trial and error. Doing a little bit, as little as possible, and seeing what happens. So that's still not really cutting. So it wasn't, the problem wasn't that it was oval and the fatter in this dimension, because nothing changed by spoke shaving that wood off. And that's also true up here. Okay, so that makes logical sense, but sometimes you're getting vibration on the lathe and it will be not actually a true circle in cross section. So I think judging by the fact that it wasn't cutting here, but it was cutting a fairly good bit down here, I think I can go ahead and take a spoke shave cut off of these two sides here and there, and that won't be too much. But that's just a total judgment call. The safer option would be to scrape it, which would be slower and more, you could creep up on your destination better. So, and this spoke shave is set pretty fine. So, see what that did. Okay, that's a decent cut. That's a decent cut. That's a decent cut. And I haven't done anything down here on this second try, so that's cutting minimally. So I think down here, since there's so little wood to take off, I'm going to scrape it. And it's just how it happens that you've made yourself a really nice scraper in the blade, so you might as well use it. And whoops. Take a little off. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's great. It does not critical that this thing cuts consistently along this entire length, because in real life, all you're going to be doing is cutting in certain places. And especially if you have an adjustable blade, you're only going to be drilling one size hole one day and then another size hole the next, so you could adjust it in between those times. It's certainly more convenient if you just pick the tool up and it's cutting the same along the whole length. But it's not, you can use a reamer that isn't perfectly tuned up like this. especially if you have an adjustment screw in it.